Welcome to Mishna study Masachat Bikkurim Perek Bet Mishnah here. Over here in this Mishnah, we're going to discuss Terumat Maaser and its similarities to either Bikkurim and its similarities to Terumat. Right? We'll see two similarities to Bikkurim, two to Terumat. Terumat Maaser, right? Terumat Maaser, again, this is the 10% of the 10% that the Levi takes off and he gives to the Kohen. Right, Teruma from the Maaser. Shaveh Bikurim b'shtei drachim, v'la Teruma b'shtei drachim. It's similar to Bikurim in two ways, and similar to Teruma in two different ways. Nitelet min tahor l'tameh, v'shelo min mukaf k'Bikurim. Right, it's separated from tahor to cover tameh. Right, if you have two piles of Maaser and you want to go ahead and separate, right, Terumat Maaser from it, it doesn't have to. You can separate from something that's tahor to cover something that's tameh. You're allowed to do that. Right, you're not allowed to do that when it comes to Teruma. You're allowed to do that when it comes to Maaser, to separate Terumat Maaser, similar to Bikurim. Right, Bikurim you're also allowed to do. Right, over here Bikurim you're allowed to go ahead and separate. Use the Bikurim tahor to cover tameh fruits. Of course, you're only talking about once the fruits are picked. Right, fruits cannot become tameh when they're still attached to the ground. So it has to be to Bikurim fruits once they're picked. Right, you're allowed to separate from the tahor to cover the tameh. V'shelo min mukaf. Right, not from the mukaf. So the same way Bikurim, you're allowed to separate Bikurim. You have to separate from every single individual tree. Right, you can separate from one tree, the first fruits on one tree to cover your field. Right, so too, right, that's shlom min mukaf. They're not close in proximity. So too, when you're separating the Terumat Maaser from the Maaser itself, you're allowed to do so even when it's not in close proximity. We know Teruma you're not allowed to have. Teruma has to be from the mukaf. It has to be from something close in proximity, similar like Hala. We learned these laws in Masachet Hala. The Oseret Tagoren, right? Terumat Maaser is now similar to Teruma in two ways. How so? It makes the whole threshing floor is asur, right? It's still tevel until you separate the Terumat Maaser from the Maaser, right? Similar to Teruma, you're not allowed to go ahead and eat from the threshing floor until you separate it. Bikurim it doesn't apply, right? Just talking about the fruits and the trees. The yesh shiur, and there is, right, shiur kateruma, right, and it does have a specific amount, right? Terumat maaser, right, is a tenth of a tenth, right? That's the amount, similar to Teruma. Teruma also has a shiur, we said 2%, right? The Chachamim gave it, and those are the similarities between Terumat maaser and how it's similar to Bikurim and Teruma separate.